諦めない心君とならば頑張れる無駄なことはないよ上を向いて笑おう一度君の時だから
俺も必ず持ってきとくからさ。何す。
Very little changes in Kenji Seki's daily routine. Every morning, he takes his dog to the beach in the hopes of catching a glimpse of his classmate, Kaori Harukawa, while she surfs. Afterwards, he meets up with his neighbor and childhood friend Natsuki Susura, and they walk to school. In essence, he lives an idyllic life where the only thing he has to worry about is how to finally confess his feelings to Kaori. The routineness of Kenji's life is interrupted by the arrival of a mysterious transfer student, Ryoichi Kyogoko, who claims to be a psychic, has both the charisma and the popularity that Kenji has always dreamed of. Before long, Kaori begins to show feelings for Ryoichi, and Natsuki becomes distant whenever Kenji tries to talk about his feelings. As Kenji's life is drawn into disarray, how will Ryoichi's arrival impact those around him?
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 9.
ゆういち
After contracting hepatitis A, Asaki Yuichi has been confined to a hospital, away from his friends and family, much to his displeasure. To relieve his boredom, he has taken to sneaking out of the hospital, usually putting himself on the receiving end of a beating from his nurse. Upon meeting a girl his age, also staying in the hospital, he is immediately captivated by her beauty. Akiba Arika's personality is not quite as captivating as her beauty, however. In fact, she is rather selfish, moody, and bossy. But as the two spend more time with each other, they become closer, sharing the ordinary joys and trials of budding teenage romance, even when darkened with the impending tragedy, for Rika's condition does not leave her much longer to live.
Number 8.
抑えて
Asaba Naoyuki is an ordinary high school student. As a member of his school's press club, he has just spent the summer camping outside the local military base in hopes of seeing the UFOs that are secretly kept there, according to a local legend. Returning to school, he meets a strange girl, Iri Yakana, and gradually comes to realize that she is more than merely strange, and that a dark secret lies beneath the world that he knows.
Number 7.
Music accompanies the path of the human metronome, the prodigious pianist Kosei Arima, but after the passing of his mother, Saki Arima, Kosei falls down into a spiral, rendering him unable to hear the sound of his own piano. 2 years later, Kosei still avoids the piano, leaving behind his admirers and rivals, and lives a colorless life alongside his friends, Tsubaki Sawabe and Ryota Watari. However, everything changes when he meets a beautiful violinist, Kaori Miyasono, who stirs up his world and sets him on a journey to face music again. Based on the manga series of the same name, Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso approaches the story of Kosei's recovery as he discovers that music is more than playing each note perfectly, and a single melody can bring in the fresh spring air of April.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 6.
儀式失敗した一郎のせいだ
Ichiro Sato is an ordinary high school student who pretended that he was a hero by the name of Maryuuinkouga back in middle school, which led to others frequently bullying him. Now that he has left this embarrassing phase behind, he does his best to avoid standing out and living a peaceful life, although he feels the world has become quite dull. But when he makes his way back to school one night to grab a textbook he left in class, he runs into a strange girl wearing a costume. This girl, Ryoko Sato, happens to be his classmate and is affected by the exact same condition that he once had, holding on to a delusion that she is someone else and dressing up to reflect this. The very next day, Ichiro is asked by his teacher to become friends with Ryoko, to which he adamantly refuses, unwilling to be reminded of his own history.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 5.
Katsuhira Agata is a quiet and reserved teenage boy whose sense of pain has all but vanished. His friend, Chidori Takashiro, can only faintly remember the days before Katsuhira had undergone this profound change. Now, his muffled and complacent demeanor make Katsuhira a target for constant bullies, who exploit him for egregious sums of money, but their fists only manage to make him blink, as even motions are far from his grasp. However, Katsuhira, Chidori, and 4 other teenagers are abducted and forced to join the Kizuna system as official Kizunaivers. Those taking part are connected through pain. If one member is injured, the others will feel an equal amount of agony. These individuals must become the lab rats and scapegoats of an incomplete system designed with world peace in mind.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 4.
ねえのぼるくん
It is the year 2046. Noboru Terao and Mikako Nagamine are close friends who will soon be graduating junior high school. But after an alien attack on humanity, Mikako is selected for the UN military space expedition set to retaliate against the aliens. Separated, Noboru and Mikako attempt to keep in touch by sending emails to each other with their cell phones. Yet, as the expedition's journey is farther away from Earth, the time it takes for them to transmit and receive each other's message increases substantially. Hoshi no Koe revolves around the relationship between this couple as they try to stay connected despite the growing distance between them.
花になりたいのですどんな時もずっと
Number 3.
Otonashi awakens only to learn that he is dead. A rifle-toting girl named Yuri explains that they are in the afterlife, and Otonashi realizes the only thing he can remember about himself is his name. Yuri tells him that she leads the Shinda Sekai Sensen. and wages war against a girl named Tenshi. Unable to believe Yuri's claims that Tenshi is evil, Otonashi attempts to speak with her, but the encounter doesn't go as he intended. Otonashi decides to join the SSS and battle Tenshi, but he finds himself oddly drawn to her. While trying to regain his memories and understand Tenshi, he gradually unravels the mysteries of the afterlife.
Number
'Long ago, all humans lived beneath the sea. However, some people preferred the surface and abandoned living underwater permanently. As a consequence, they were stripped their God-given protection called Ena, which allowed them to breathe underwater. Over time, the rift between the denizens of the sea and the surface widened, although contact between the two people still existed. Nagi no Asukara follows the story of Hikari Sakishima and Manaka Mukaido, along with their childhood friends Chisaki Hiraidara and Kaname Isaki, who are forced to leave the sea and attend a school on the surface. There, the group also meets Tsunogu Kihara, a fellow student fisherman who loves the sea. Hikari and his friends' lives are bound to change as they have to deal with the deep-seated hatred and discrimination between the people of sea and the surface.
Number 1.
泣いていいですか?
The aloof protagonist, a bookworm who is deeply detached from the world he resides in. He has no interest in others and is firmly convinced that nobody has any interest in him either. His story begins when he stumbles across a handwritten book titled Living with Dying. He soon identifies it as a secret diary belonging to his popular bubbly classmate Sakura Yamauchi. She then confides in him about the pancreatic disease she is suffering from and that her time left is finite. Only her family knows about her terminal illness, not even her best friends are aware. Despite this revelation, he shows zero sympathy for her plight, but, caught in the waves of Sakura's persistent buoyancy, he eventually concedes to accompanying her for her remaining days.